Jesus is the deliverer greater than Moses who breaks bondage. Now there arose up a new king over Egypt, which knew not Joseph. Exodus chapter 1:8 isn't just history, it's prophecy in disguise. A new Pharaoh, a new threat, a nation blessed by God suddenly chained by fear and politics. Egypt forgot Joseph, and with him they forgot the God who saved their land from famine. Now the same people who once preserved Egypt are labeled enemies. Slaves, threats to the state. Sound familiar? When the world forgets God, it will always turn on his people. When nations forget deliverance, they invent oppression. Pharaoh didn't fear Israel's rebellion. He feared their numbers. He feared their God. And fear turns quickly into tyranny. So Pharaoh enslaved them, crushed them, drowned their sons in the Nile, tried to erase the promise of Abraham with taskmasters and terror. But he underestimated one thing: the God of deliverance never sleeps. And you can't drown a promise in the river. You can't whip the covenant out of existence. And you certainly can't outlast the God who hears the cry of the oppressed. Then came Moses, born under death decree, raised in Pharaoh's house, called from a burning bush, sent with a staff and a message: "Let my people go." One man against an empire. But he wasn't standing alone. Behind him moved the fire of heaven. Plagues fell. Waters parted. Chains broke. The greatest superpower on earth was humiliated by the God of slaves. But Moses wasn't the end of the story. He was the shadow. Because there's a greater Pharaoh, a darker bondage, a crueler master that rules not with brick and straw, but with sin and death. And there's a greater deliverer, one not born in a palace, but in a manger, one not hidden in reeds, but nailed to a cross, one who didn't just lead a nation out of Egypt, but leads all humanity out of death. His name is Jesus. So here's the challenge. To every skeptic, priest, imam, pastor, and religious scholar: if Moses was God's chosen to defeat Pharaoh, who is Jesus if not the one greater than Moses? Jesus himself declared in John 8:36, "If the Son therefore shall make you free, ye shall be free indeed." Not from Egypt, from sin, not from Pharaoh, from Satan, not from brick and mortar, but from shame, addiction, guilt, and eternal death. Moses turned water to blood. Jesus turned water to wine. Moses lifted a serpent on a pole to heal the dying. Jesus became sin on the cross to heal the world. Moses parted the sea. Jesus split the veil in the temple, giving access not to freedom in the desert, but to the throne of God. Yet the world still chooses Pharaoh, the Pharaoh of pride, the Pharaoh of tradition, the Pharaoh of religion without power, the pharaohs in pulpits who deny the divinity of Christ, the pharaohs in mosques who reduce him to mere prophet, the pharaohs in universities who scoff at his name. And still Jesus stands, staff in hand, blood on his robe, fire in his eyes, and says, "Let my people go." He didn't come to negotiate with Egypt. He came to conquer it. He didn't come to ask death for permission. He came to break its grip. And he didn't come to lead you halfway. He came to crush the oppressor and bring you into promise. So you must choose. Stay in the comfort of chains. Bow to Pharaoh. Pretend you're free while building someone else's empire. Or follow the greater Moses. Because Exodus 1:8 was just the beginning of Pharaoh's rise. But Revelation is the end of every Pharaoh's fall. And Jesus Christ, the deliverer of all deliverers, is not asking for your permission. He's demanding your release. Let his people go.